Hello, this is Vision, Vocation in Suffolk, and I'm here with the Right Reverend Martin Seeley, Bishop of this diocese. So thank you for joining us here on the channel. Remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and do leave your comments and thoughts below. Bishop Martin, it's wonderful to have you here talking about vocation. Would you like to first share something of your own vocational journey? Most recently, obviously, that's vocation to minister as a bishop.
So can I go back to the beginning?
Go
Is
back
that all
as
right?
far as you
I
want.
won't give you the whole saga
That's all
because
right.
it will take up most of the.
Yeah.
Because I think, for me, and listening to other clergy, it's that initial call that then shapes you, and I go back to it over and over again.
Yeah.
So I was 15.
Right.
It was September 1969.
Yes.
And I'd been going to church. My parents are churchgoers.
Yeah.
I had lots of questions. I wasn't thinking about what I was going to do for a job or anything like that.
No.
None of that was in my
No.
mind. But sort of out of the blue, I got this sense in that month that God wanted me to be ordained, which were words I couldn't really put together
Right.
at that point,
No,
but there was
no.
something going on inside. I made an appointment to go and see the curate,
Right.
and who ran the youth club and various other
Yeah.
things and so forth. So I went to see him, and I kind of knew why I was going, but I couldn't put words to it.
Right.
I didn't want to put words. I was
No.
embarrassed, or I felt, and I've got all this completely wrong. And he said to me, "Have you ever thought about being ordained?" Right. So this came completely out of the blue.
Yes.
And that enabled me to say it. And then, so he sent me to the usual thing. He sent me to the vicar.
Yep.
The vicar was wonderful. He said, "It'll come out in the wash. Just carry on doing what you're enjoying doing,
Yep.
and let's see." It took me. Well, I never told my parents. I
Right.
felt so. This is arrogant. I can't possibly be me. This is all wrong. So in the end, the vicar told my parents.
Right.
But it did indeed. It was there, and it
Yeah.
grew, and I ended up going to a in those days selection conference
Yeah.
when I was 19.
Right.
I suppose the thing I would say to anyone who's listening to
Yeah.
this is it's those funny, quiet, deep voices inside.
Yeah.
Those little prompts that you need to pay attention to, and let people if somebody does ask you the question, think about it. People are asking you the question for a good reason.
Yes.
Now I'm jumping many years forward.
We won't ask
I'm
how.
about to celebrate. Well, I can work it out, can't you? It's 50 years since that call.
Right.
And I'm about to celebrate my 40th anniversary of being a priest. The vocation to be a bishop is a completely different thing.
Yeah.
Because whereas we're encouraged to own up to and discover that call that God has on us,
Yes.
vocation to a bishop is one that you don't have yourself. Other people have it for you. And so it really is the church calling you to be a bishop. Now, of course, the church calls us to be ordained as deacons and priests, but the balance shifts entirely in the church direction. When it happens, you then have to sort of grow into it,
Right.
own it and grow into it.
Yes.
So it's a different process.
But it's interesting thinking about that idea of obedience and listening to the church's will in relation to deacons and priests
Yeah,
as well,
absolutely.
and there's an element of that as well.
No, completely.
Yeah.
They're both there, but the weight is towards
It's
what's
towards
going on
a
in me,
personal,
and then the weight shifts to towards the church.
Yeah. So obviously we're here today on the day when we've just made 17 new
17
deacons,
new deacons.
and how many priests later
23
on?
new
23
priests.
new priests.
Yeah.
And that must be a good feeling for you and for the
I mean,
diocese.
it's extraordinary. I mean, for me, it's obviously, you can imagine, particularly in this glorious weather.
Yes.
It's draining.
Yes.
So we're only halfway through. Before we started the service just now, I had this really powerful sense that we were we were doing what God wanted us to be doing.
Yes.
That there was a strength of the presence of the Spirit in all of this, individuals and collectively, and it's draining, it's exhausting.
Yeah.
It's also emotional for me.
Yes.
So I get quite sort of teary.
Yeah.
So at the piece at that point when you ordained them, and then it's a sort of transition.
Yeah.
That's the point where I just kind of it hits me what's
Yes.
happened, and the same will happen again.
And there'll be that transition for them, that actually they've received this ministry, the gifts of the Spirit, and they've now got to turn and look ahead and what has life got in store for them next.
What's it mean now?
Yeah.
And so in my charge last night to them, the thing I said I want you to be just constantly attentive to is your intimacy with God, the relationship with God.
Yeah.
Pay attention to that. Make the space for the opportunity to be able to attend to what God is doing in you, doing through you, and make space for real intimacy.
Yes.
So that you know yourself loved and held and cherished and precious.
Yeah. And that's a message for anybody at the very start of that journey as well.
Absolutely.
Attend to God and that relationship. Thank you, Bishop, and
Not at all.
we'll let you get ready for the next
Right.
service.
Thank you.
But thank you for being with us here on the channel.
Thank you. And I'm about to celebrate my 40th anniversary of being a priest. But the vocation, don't say gosh like that. But
I'll edit that out, it's fine.